following is a presentation of 4-Star Sports Media.
What's up, everybody? I am Zach Kerr. You might know me as Razorback Zach from Inside the Hog Pen. You may not, but I've got with me tonight Marcus MC Carlton and the Bum, Brandon Bumgarner. What's up, gentlemen?
Good evening, guys. I'm excited about this. Let's do it.
Looks like Bum dropped out. He's having technical issues. But MC, brand new show tonight. It's called the Falls Count Anywhere show. See if we can get Brandon back up in here. Bum, you got us?
Yeah, I got you. I'm not hearing you. You sound like you're talking in slow motion. So I think that's on me. I don't think it's on you. So I'm going to back in.
MC, you got me? Are we good?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
You got all right. Good. Brand new show. Brand new show tonight. Brand new stuff we're trying out. And so basically, I wanted to go through what this show really is. MC, it's kind of different than what we've normally done here at 4-Star Sports Media. I know you've only been on a short time, but this is a professional wrestling, UFC, and professional boxing podcast or show or whatever you want to call it. And it's a little bit of a different demographic. Not very many people know about wrestling or UFC or professional boxing. But I want to jump headfirst into this. And, of course, you cover AEW religiously. And
I like WWE, too. Don't get me wrong. I like it. It's just I have become, since AEW has come on the scene, that's become my number one, and WWE has become 1A or number 2 even.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to get into AEW, but most of these guys I'm not exactly 100% sure of.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair.
Well, I mean, think about it. When you have a lifelong, when you're a lifelong WWE fan, I mean, from all the way back from Hulk Hogan, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, to the Ultimate Warrior, through the Attitude Era, to the PG era with John Cena, and now to the
I don't even know what to call this era. We'll call it AC for after Cena, because I really don't know what else to call it right now.
But, AC, that's funny.
AC. Bum, did you finally get your audio fixed?
Finally, we got it.
All right, Bum, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. The news about Scott Hall is kind of a bummer.
Yeah. And for those of you that have been living under a rock for the past 48 hours. NWO founding member Scott Razor Ramon Hall, and that was a terrible impression of that. I am so sorry.
I mean, he did a terrible impression of that too, but he made it
work. So. Has passed away. He died after hip surgery complications. 3, from what I read, it was 3 back-to-back heart attacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just go ahead, MC.
Well, I'm just going to say this one hits me hard, man. You mentioned you were a lifelong WWE guy. Okay. WWE has always been kind of not an afterthought, but second place for me because I grew up on Memphis wrestling, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Always will be Memphis.
No, you grew up on Memphis wrestling.
Yes, I grew up on wrestling, Monday nights, Mid-South Coliseum, Jerry Lawler, kicking tail and taking names. And then I was a WCW guy first. So WWE,
the Monday Night Wars,
Stone Cold. Yeah, and even before the Monday Night Wars, before Eric Bischoff took over, when it transferred over from Georgia Championship Wrestling to NWA, and then when Ted Turner bought it into WCW, I was there from the beginning, man. Like original 4 Horsemen with Arn, Ole, Rick, JJ Dillon, the whole crew, always beating down Dusty Rhodes. So for Scott Hall, for Scott Hall to change the game. I mean, the night he came out, I think it was May 27th, 1996 was the night he cut the first promo.
Wow, that's like the day to my birthday, like my birthday. Like
really
a year apart from my birthday in the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he comes out, interrupts the match and says, "You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here." And wrestling was changed from that point forward.
It changed. I mean,
you can credit me for the Monday Night Wars.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, even, from just 10, 15, 20 years ago versus today, the landscape changed. It's an ever-changing landscape. It's like collegiate athletics. Okay, not to bring...
It went more mainstream.
When
Hall and Nash jumped, that's what took it mainstream.
In WCW, that is what AEW is today. The early days of WCW.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think AEW isn't as kid-friendly as WCW was.
No. But
Bum,
you gotta... go ahead. Sorry, there's a little delay. My bad.
I'm younger, so for y'all, it's different from me than it is from y'all. Mm-hmm. But when it comes down to it for me, and I've watched all the historical stuff and everything like that, but when I look at it, WCW and AEW, you can't really compare both of them, but you have the same minds from both companies behind everything, except for maybe like Ted Turner. So you would replace Ted Turner with Tony Khan. But you have those minds that worked WCW, and now they have a platform where they can make this work. And I'm not saying that they will overtake WWE. I don't know if anybody will ever overtake WWE while Vince McMahon is alive. But they're making it work, and they're making it watchable. And that's what I was worried about when they first started AEW, is if they could make it watchable. And they've done a damn good job so far.
One of those first, and I guess I'm basing it off the first couple episodes that they did of AEW, where it didn't quite fit. It seemed a little out there. But going back on early days of WCW or WCCW, which are not the same thing, I know. Don't nobody jump me. Vince McMahon wanted it geared towards the younger generation. I mean, you had the Ultimate Warrior, you had Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, and all these colorful characters and these cartoonish type characters, Doink the Clown, and it worked for the generation that they were in. Mm-hmm. But as you get into the 90s and the early 2000s, you have to change just like everything else in society, you've got to change. And so you had to have the edgier, the D-Generation X, the NWO, the Stings, the Stone Cold, prime example. Okay. He was one of the ones that led that change in the industry. Excuse me. Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. Look at what The Undertaker did in his 30-year career. He couldn't always stay the dead man. He had to change it up.
Chris Jericho, same thing.
Jericho, same thing. But every now and then, and we're going to use terms on this show like heels and babyface, basically good guys and bad guys. Baby faces are good guys. Heels are obviously the bad guys. All right. And to quote Scott Hall, bad times don't last. Bad guys do.
Bad guys do. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
But you had all of these characters and all of these storylines where from about 1996 till 2010. That was the peak.
I was going to put 2010, maybe a little bit earlier, but right in that time frame.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and that was the prime peak of professional wrestling, because you had WCW, you had WWE, you had TNA.
Ring of Honor was starting to get off the ground.
You had a little bit of Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
New Japan Pro Wrestling. You had these itty bitty ones, but they're all chasing WWE. So that being said, WrestleMania is 2 weeks away. 3 weeks away. 2 weeks away. 3 weeks away.
Yeah, three.
What do you guys think of the setup? I mean, used to it was on a Sunday. It ran about 4 hours. It was a grand spectacle. And now they've kind of, in COVID era, you now have 2 shows. You have 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday. Now, this is going to be kind of different because it's in the great state of Texas, and you're literally going to have 4 full days of WWE. Friday night, April 1st, you've got SmackDown from the American Airlines Center, immediately followed by the Hall of Fame. Now, they say that it's a 2-for-1. Is the SmackDown crowd the Hall of Fame crowd too? I mean, how are they going to do that?
I think it'll be that way for that show. The people that attend the Hall of Fame and make an attempt to go to the Hall of Fame every year, I think they go to SmackDown, and they do it that way.
And then,
but kind of leaning off what you were saying about the two-a-days, though, I like it. Not only does Vince have all the talent in the world to be able to do this and make more money for himself and the company, but he's doing it in a good way to draw people down to Dallas to come to WrestleMania. I mean, people, believe it or not, people want to see Pat McAfee wrestle Austin Theory. I want to see it for sure. But I mean, you have a crowd that you can attack on each day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we all know by now that Stone Cold's going to be on Sunday. There's no ifs, ands, and buts.
Yeah, they've got the lineup, and I wish I had it in front of me. I didn't think about it. I've got the full card here. But you gotta wonder, where in the hell is Cody Rhodes?
He'll be there soon.
You think really? You've been a bit
really?
No. Wait. MC, please, God, let me have this one.
Okay.
Bum,
yes.
Bum
I've been a big proponent of him going somewhere else.
Bum has been a big proponent of him staying AEW. That is all a work that he's going to run Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor did get purchased by AEW.
By Tony Khan. Yeah.
By Tony Khan. Here's the funny part. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm more WWE than anything else. Doesn't Tony Khan's brother work for WWE, or is that two different dudes? No relation.
No relation.
It's like two guys named Smith. No relation.
Nick Khan is more related to The Rock than he is Tony Khan.
All right. So give me. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen the match card.
I'm actually looking at it right now.
Okay, so you've probably got it easier. You've probably got it up easier than I do. I've got it on my phone. I've got 4 different. If y'all would see the hog pin right now, ringside is crazy. I've got one TV on the NCAA tournament. I've got one TV on baseball. I've got one on the WWE network. And then, of course, I've got my laptop where we're streaming live right now. MC, run down the match card real quick.
All right, so let me get down here and start towards the bottom so I don't start with the main event. You've got, and this is courtesy of CBSSports.com in their professional wrestling section. So
do they have it broken up in the 2 nights?
They do not have it broken up in 2 nights.
Okay, I have the card that's broken up from night to
Okay,
night.
but why don't you take it then? If you've got it broken into the 2 nights.
Round and round we go.
So,
where it stops, nobody knows.
Night one, Saturday, April 12th, or 2nd. You have the SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. I think that's a great matchup. I really like the Ronda aspect. The fans are finally getting back behind Ronda after they turned on her the last time she was in WWE.
Bum, let me ask you this. Who's the heel and who's the babyface in this?
Charlotte's absolutely the heel. But also I think the fans are sick of Charlotte too. So I think Ronda could be
the same thing.
She could be an anti heel or anti-face
Anti-hero?
or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Anti-hero, yes.
Almost a superhero.
Yes. Yeah. ASH.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
After that, they have the Raw Women's Championship between Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair.
I do not like that match at all.
I don't either. I think Becky should be in a much better situation. She is
It needs to be somebody like Liv Morgan.
Yes, but I've said it before on 4-Star when we've touched on wrestling before with Wes. Becky is head over heels right now, the best technical wrestler and person on the mic in all of WWE. It's the first time that a female has been that way. In my opinion.
What happened to Edge? I mean, don't you think he's
like Edge is incredible. He's a Hall of Famer, but right now at the peak of their popularity, I have it as Becky Lynch just right there. You can make it 1A, 1B. You absolutely could. And I like that. And I don't want to go through each individual matchup, but I'm going to keep reading this one.
No. I wanted to stop on that one just specifically.
Okay. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. We know what we're getting there.
Squash match.
Ray and Dominic Mysterio versus Miz and Logan Paul, the guy, a.k.a. the guy who's going to turn on the Miz.
I don't understand that one either.
The SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura
and Boog.
Rick Boogs.
By the way, I figured this out too. He doesn't actually play the guitar. Like he's playing it, but that's it. There's nothing attached to it. It's a
Milli Vanilli type situation.
Yeah, exactly. Now, somebody out there,
there's videos.
Google Milli Vanilli if you don't know what I'm talking about.
If somebody wants to correct me on that, I please do.
I don't know if he's playing it live, like in front of the audience, but there is videos out there on YouTube of him just shredding.
Oh no, he actually plays it. I'm saying when he's out there on stage, in front of the audience, because normally you see a little pack either on the side of the guitar or something, or even a cable. There's nothing there. But again, I could be wrong.
All right. Well, and then this is surprising to me. The last thing listed, and I'm sure there will be more added until leading up to WrestleMania. The KO show hosted by Kevin Owens with guest Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what.
But that also leads into the main event, right?
I think the main event is one of the SmackDown Women's Championships.
No, the two main events.
Matches.
I thought the main event was Brock and
Roman.
Come on,
that's Sunday.
Roman.
It's Brock and Roman, and then there's who else is it?
That's on Sunday.
Oh, AJ and Edge is in there somewhere.
AJ and Edge. I thought it was AJ and Edge and Brock and Roman.
Right now, this other list is night 2, Sunday, April 3rd. Winner take all title unification, Roman and Brock, Edge, AJ, women's tag team champions, which that's just a terrible match. And then Sami Zayn, Johnny Knoxville, Pat McAfee, Austin Theory. Now, getting back into what we were talking about a minute ago with Cody Rhodes, last night WWE made a post, and it was in reference to the Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens match. And they said that, look at Kevin Owens dashing Seth Rollins' hopes and dreams of having a WrestleMania match. He's now at a crossroads. I mean, they're just hinting. They might as well just tell us that he's going to be there.
Well,
they've had a lot of Easter eggs like that lately because
they've done that, but
week, last
but
week
at the same
somebody else's hopes got dashed.
Yeah, but at the same time, where's the Veer character that we've been talking about for months now? They do that to keep people interested to go, oh, maybe he is coming. They're doing that to boost views, don't you think?
Is the Veer better thing a work? Is that a work?
I don't. It's not, because like he's an actual wrestler, but he better be one of the best damn wrestlers I've ever seen in my life.
You know what Veer is right now? It's the whole Emelina thing. You know, Emelina. They did little vignettes on her forever. You know, Emelina is coming. You've waited so long.
I feel like
coming soon.
I feel like Veer is.
Well, that's also
for the last year.
Who was it? She was brought on by WWE many years ago. I say many years ago. Wrestled like one match. She was blowing through everybody, and then she left WWE because she was pregnant. Apparently, I think her ring name was like Awesome Kong or something.
Oh yeah, Karma.
That's the one.
She went by Awesome Kong when she went to TNA. Yeah, she got pregnant, and that never transpired because she got released. She never came back after she got pregnant.
Yeah, she never.
She went and had a kid, and then ended up in. She ended up in Impact, I think.
Yeah, she
went back to Impact.
What did you guys think
on a Royal Rumble since then? But that's it.
Did she?
It's a one-off. Yeah. She showed up at the Royal Rumble. The last
was it 3 or 4 years ago?
It was like, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, the last pre-COVID Rumble.
Yeah. Okay. The problem with Raw and SmackDown is, and Bum touched on it a few minutes ago, the audience and the WWE Universe are getting tired of seeing the same thing every week. It's Roman blowing through everybody. It's Charlotte holding the title. It's the same matches every single week.
But if you look over the history of it, when that's what WWE does, they latch on to one guy or one girl, and they ride that horse until it can't go anymore. They did the same thing with Cena. To an extent, they did it with Punk until he just got too frustrated with everything and left. You could even go back to Triple H and to Austin and Rock. And I mean, it just so happened that Triple H, Austin, and Rock were all right there together. And then you still had Undertaker too, so it didn't seem quite as stale. But, Cena, I mean, how many times he got to the point where Cena was getting, go away heat. He wasn't getting, the kind of heat you want from the crowd. He was getting go away heat.
Yeah, he was getting real heat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and part of that is because you had so many young guys coming up through the ranks that he was just kept burying. It was like having Hogan over again.
Yeah.
Of course, back then we didn't understand what Hogan was doing or what was happening with Hogan. And I can't say we because like I said, I'm not a lot younger than y'all, but I am younger than y'all. And the only Hogan I remember.
Yeah, you're spot on.
I remember is Hollywood Hogan and Mr. America Hogan when he was feuding with Vince.
Mr. America, oh my God!
What a great! I'm sorry, what a great gimmick!
Oh,
they made this guy take a lie detector test, and Vince asked him if he was Hulk Hogan. He goes, "No, I'm not, brother." I'm like, oh. So, okay, time out. WWE does some of the stupidest gimmicks on this earth, but they work and they make us laugh.
Wait.
Look at RK Bro.
Wait, dude, that is the greatest thing they have done with Randy Orton in years. But check this out.
Yes.
The best stupid gimmick. Stardust.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my God. It was.
What was he thinking?
I mean,
Well-
kudos to Cody because he made it his own. But
Yes.
I mean, that is the modern day version of his daddy and the polka dots. That is exactly what that is. If you remember when Dusty was there in the late 80s, early 90s, whenever it was, and they put him in polka dots, you know, and you know, you hear all the guys.
That's
that
what
are
I'm
on the big
scared is going to
podcasts.
happen with Cody.
Yeah.
He's going to come back and be Stardust again.
I'm scared he's going to come back and Vince is going to be like, well, look, the Stardust character doesn't bother me. The thing that bothers me is this was Cody's idea, but WWE took his idea from him and did what they wanted with it.
Mhm.
That's the thing that scares me a little bit is because Vince is known for punishing guys to an extent, not publicly, but
and he was never a main eventer. That's the problem.
No, he wasn't. In his best run, in my opinion, in WWE was under The Miz with Ted DiBiase Jr.
Legacy.
When they
Yeah.
were, or
That
no,
was-
it wasn't The Miz, it was Randy Orton.
I was going to say, wait a minute. He was never with The Miz. He was Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no,
Legacy,
absolutely.
Legacy was an incredible setup. It
Mhm.
made sense because all three of those guys
Our
are
third,
legends, absolute legends, kids.
2 and 3
2 or
generation
3
wrestlers.
generation. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought Legacy didn't get the right push that it deserved, in my opinion, because it was there, man. It was just right there.
Well, when you go up every week against Evolution, I mean, once Randy Orton left Evolution to go to Legacy, or no, yeah, he was in Legacy or Evolution first.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and
Randy Orton deserves, and I know I keep going on side notes. And this,
No,
for those of you listening to us, we don't have an exact format set right now. We know how we want to do this show, but we're gonna do what wrestling does and just randomly say shit all the time. So bear with us.
And it's gonna be,
but Randy,
for lack of better term, raw and unfiltered.
There you go.
Yes. Randy is so good, not only by himself, but in a tag team or in a faction. I mean, the guy adapts to whatever is going around with him so well. And we are so blessed to live in an era where so many different wrestlers were able to do that. But honestly, I don't think there's a better one than Randy Orton. Randall Keith Orton is just so good to adapting to what he has to work with.
You know, he's kind of
his Kofi Kingston rivalry that he had when it was one-on-one.
Yes.
He pushed Kofi so hard to get Kofi over. It didn't work for Kofi, but it got Randy over even more.
Well, Randy didn't have to.
The guys
get
had
over.
some incredible. Yeah, he didn't. But he's had some incredible feuds with all kinds of guys. I mean, you can go top to bottom on this roster. I mean, the whole Street Profits thing last night on Raw, that was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
It was great. Yeah. His whole gimmick with RK Bro right now is awesome. I'm waiting on Matt Riddle to turn on him, by the way. I don't think he's going to turn on Riddle. I think Riddle's going to turn on him.
I think Orton's going to turn on Riddle. I don't think Riddle's going to turn on him.
See, I don't know, man. I think everybody's just expecting Orton to turn because he's done that before.
Exactly.
Well,
and I
think about it.
I think he's ready for a babyface run.
He's gone. Look, I saw a thing on Twitter earlier today. Randy Orton kind of has a grand slam now, if you think about it. When it comes to WrestleMania, he's gone as the WWE champ. He's gone as the Intercontinental champ. I think he's gone as the U.S. champ. Now he's gone as the tag team champ.
Tag team. Yep. Yeah, it's hard to believe for me that he's been around that long in order to do this.
And he's still in just incredible peak like shape.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's really lost.
He came out. He came out. And he was like, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to do this. At RKO, I'm starting to feel it.
So I was talking to my dad about this, and we'll get my dad on here sometime. MC, he's a huge Memphis wrestling guy.
Nice.
We watch wrestling together every single week. My dad grew up
awesome.
going Monday nights to the Coliseum, but yeah. So I was talking with my dad about it. It might have been earlier today, it might have been last night, but it kind of compares to Hogan with the leg drop. So Hogan, when he was doing his leg drop, landing on his back every single time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy's had like 12 back surgeries. Orton's got thousands of RKOs in his career.
Yeah.
And he's landing square on his back every single time he does it. How much longer is he going to be able to take it and endure the pain and go through it? Because listen, these guys take some bumps that I'll never take in my life. They also have more balls than I do. So,
thank you, Boom, for bringing that way, because that will segue into our final WWE point of the night. A week ago, there was a bad bump taken on SmackDown. Big E breaks his neck.
Man.
This goes back to Madcap Moss at Elimination Chamber. Same kind of thing. It was a botched landing. Both guys spiked their head. Now, one was on the mat and was able to get up and walk away, and how he was still walking, I'll never understand. Big E, on the other hand, Big E's lucky that didn't do more damage.
He is, but the reports are saying he might not wrestle again.
I hadn't seen that.
And it's not. It's not because of internal injuries that are going to force him out of wrestling, because it's not. It's serious, but it's not as serious as people think it, because it's two broken vertebrae.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you saw the reports. DDP has reached out to him, told him he could come stay at the rehab house while he rehabs his neck. Jake the Snake Roberts has reached out to him saying, I would love to work with you just like DDP's working with you, because, DDP saved Jake the Snake Roberts' life.
Scott Hall, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he kept Scott Hall around a few more years.
Yes. But shout out to Diamond Dallas Page. That man, you want to talk about a good dude in wrestling?
So
that is a good person.
Cool thing. I actually do DDP yoga, and when I tell you guys it works, holy crap. So I have degenerative disc disease in my lower back, and it's creeping up to my middle back now. And I was told, try yoga. It'll help. It'll help. It'll help. Dude, I'm telling you now, I will swear by DDP yoga.
Yeah, I want to try DDP yoga with Trish Stratus.
I bet you do. I bet you do, Bum. I bet you do.
Yeah.
Side note, I know
I don't have anything to add to that.
On that note, I think we're going to go to break.
I know this is a wrestling show, but the Memphis Grizzlies are beating the Indiana Pacers 92-57 right now in the third quarter.
That's a squash match if there ever was one.
That's a squash match. All right, when we come back, we are going to talk a little bit of the AEW, and that's a little, like I said, it's a little bit out of my forte. We're gonna let MC take over. You're watching.
Hey, give me that hot tag.
There you go. I'm tagging you in. You're watching the Falls Count Anywhere show. Back in just a minute on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network.
Hey fans, did you know that 4-Star Sports Media now has a YouTube channel? You can catch exclusive content covering all things Memphis Tigers and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Shows like The Point, and the only show on social media about the Arkansas Razorbacks that is purely fan-driven, Inside the Hog Pen. Plus other shows like The Hog Trough, The 4-Star Sports Show, and many more coming soon. So check them out today. Go on YouTube.com and search 4-Star Sports Media.
Welcome back to Ringside here on the Falls Count Anywhere show. I'm Zach Kerr, MC, Marcus Carlton, and of course the bum, Brandon Bumgarner. All right, I've done my piece of where I'm none the most knowledgeable, so I'm going to go ahead and tag in my tag team partner here in this triple threat match. MC, what do we got going on in the world of All Elite Wrestling?
Well, they they recently had one of their big pay-per-views.
It was incredible.
It was, yeah. I didn't get to see it. I was out of town that night. Didn't get to order it and watch it. But
was that the one with MJF and Punk
and in the dog?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Such a good match.
I am a sucker for a good throwback match, like a dog collar match or the bull rope match, or anything that kind of lets me reminisce a little bit about listening to Gordon Soley back in the day, or Lance and Dave. If you want to go back to the Memphis days, then I really enjoy that. Revolution was their big one. Quickly the high points out of that. Punk beats MJF in the dog collar match in what I was told was just an instant classic. Punk went full Crimson Mask, and anybody that's listening to this show is gonna know what I mean when I say the Crimson Mask. I mean, he had the cut on his head that just his face was just covered in blood, very similar to what Dustin Rhodes did in the very first actual AEW pay-per-view when he fought Cody. So if you remember what Dustin looked like in that match, that's pretty much what Punk looked like in this one.
Yeah, Punk pulled it off better. Oh my God, it was great.
And it was I've seen a few highlights, and the highlights I've seen are just amazing. Wardlow finally turned on MJF. That's something that they've been dropping Easter eggs about for probably close to a year now.
I was gonna say that had to have been a few months because
that's been in the works a long time. If you are a longtime wrestling fan, you could see this coming, and it wasn't a question of if; it was a question of when. When is Wardlow finally going to get enough and turn on MJF? And it happened at Revolution. He helped Punk get the win, big win there. The tag match with Sting and Darby Allin. Sting, awesome. 62 years old, jumping.
Oh my gosh, man!
The second tier
tables, man,
down through tables at 62 years old.
Three tables.
Yeah, I mean,
listen to me. There's a reason why Sting is my favorite wrestler of all time, and that is one of them.
Yeah, that right there, man. I mean,
and WWE was like, well, he's never going to be healthy enough to wrestle again.
And of course, he moves to AEW, and he's jumping through tables.
Yeah, from like the second layer of the seats, down to what would normally be the walkway. I mean, it was just unreal.
It's talking about have been like a 15-foot jump or 10-foot jump or something.
Yeah. Talking about dream matches, though, would not have been great if everybody was in their right mind. Undertaker versus Sting. It was the biggest match that they were dream match they were talking about.
That's the unicorn match that we never got that everybody wanted. Everybody's wanted that match since Sting went from the multicolor face to the Crow persona, which, by the way, was an idea of Scott Hall. And I have in my Twitter archive, I have a reply from Scott Hall verifying that he was the one that came up with that idea. So I tried to dig through my archives to find that where he replied to me because I had.
If you go to Peacock and you watch the Sting pay-per-view, but the documentary that WWE did on him, it talks about how Scott Hall and Kevin Nash really pushed Sting to be able to do that. People don't realize. Okay, everybody thinks of WCW, and I know I don't mean to go off on a side note. Everybody thinks it's WCW.
We're still figuring this show out, Bum. Don't feel bad.
The NWO, Hulk Hogan leading them, everything like that, right? If it was not for those two men, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, professional wrestling would not be what it is right now.
100%. 100% agree.
I agree.
You wouldn't have Sting still in that Crow persona 26 years later, whatever we are now, coming up on 26 years later. He wouldn't be in that. He would have gone back to the multicolor, neon Sting that he was prior to that. But
there's almost go ahead, MC. Go ahead. My bad.
Well, I'm going to try to finish up on this real quick, and then we can jump back on the Scott Hall thing. The other big thing that came out of the Revolution pay-per-view, Hangman retained his title over Adam Cole. I don't think that feud is anywhere near done. I like the feud. I think there's potential there.
You want to talk about a great match?
Yeah, no doubt. But the debut of Steven Regal, I think that was, it was a surprise. But I don't know that it's getting, because everything was so good on that show. I don't know that this is getting the notoriety it deserves, because the wrestling mind of Steven Regal and everyone that he has influenced along the way, such as Mox and Bryan Danielson and countless others, bringing him into the mix.
Steven Regal is the same guy as William Regal, right?
Yeah, William Regal. Yeah, he went by Steven Regal in
Yes.
WCW, but William Regal is, it depends on how you know him. I know him as Lord Steven Regal, from
I know
way
him
back
as
in the
William
WCW
Regal, or Regal. I just know him as Regal.
Let's see, and I know
dude.
Triple H is Hunter Hearst Helmsley, so I'm just
I know him.
Yeah. So, but to bring Regal on board after he was released from WWE, I think that's a big feather in the hat for Tony Khan, just because of the ideas and the influence that Regal can bring backstage. That was a huge one. You had the 3, 4, 5-way tag team match, whatever it was, and you had Jungle Express retaining their tag team titles. And I thought it was a great show based on what I could see of it.
Best entrance in wrestling, by the way.
So what did you guys think of? Go ahead, MC. You were about to.
Well,
no. You're fine.
The one thing that come up on Dynamite after the pay-per-view, the Hardy Boys reunited. Jeff Hardy shows up.
Yeah,
Jeff Hardy shows up on Dynamite, and the Hardy Boys have got one more run in them.
Yeah, Josh with this awesome comment, and of course Matt and Jeff Hardy are back together. So I have a hot take on this, guys.
Hit me.
So when Jeff walked down the aisle, and I know Matt is the baby face right now, but when he was walking down the aisle and he starts dancing as his brother's just getting his head beat in like a drum, I'm like, all right, that's funny. Then maybe I'm just picking. I'm going into this way too much. But the way Darby Allin looked at Jeff, that's an enigma.
Yeah.
And part of me's like, Darby Allin's gonna ditch Sting for Jeff Hardy just because he's got so many questions about what's going on with this guy.
The Jeff Hardy story is amazing.
It absolutely is, man. You want to talk about a fall from grace, to build yourself back up, relapse, and then build yourself all the way back up again.
It's very similar
and
to
WWE going, and WWE going, we're not sure you're going to pass a drug test, so we're going to cut you loose. Yeah. And I'm going to say it, Wes is probably going to get mad. He pissed clean, and he goes, I'm not going back, F WWE, I'm going to AEW.
Yeah, it's very similar. His roller coaster, if you will, of battling his demons, very similar to what Scott Hall went through.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I keep dragging Scott Hall back into this, but I mean, the guy's a legend.
It's appropriate.
Like
it's appropriate.
It's very appropriate. So
one of the things, and again, you can say what you want, but it doesn't take time at all. In fact, I think they should have done that instead of the 15-minute recap when Kevin Owens was standing in the ring. Why was there no 10-bell salute?
Well, technically, when Raw went on the air, he wasn't dead. So
I thought he passed away at around 6:30.
He passed away at 6:30. There's no reason that you could not have opened the show and cut down on some of these long-ass promos for a 10-bell salute for one of the guys that revolutionized the industry.
I agree.
He's not just some...
I agree, but
the Brooklyn Brawler.
So when was the last time that they did a 10-bell salute for somebody? I don't remember.
Mean Gene, Dusty Rhodes.
Yes. Have they stopped it recently?
They didn't do one for... They didn't do one for Paul Bearer.
Yeah, so maybe it's just WWE has stopped that. And I mean, to an extent,
Well, I think
Scott Hall passing away is absolutely sad, but also they're there to entertain the fans. So maybe they just want to keep the show going and not make it
maybe so.
not
I don't know.
make it all about him, because it should be all about him. But also, I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm gonna use a banned term.
Or I could just say I'm playing devil's favorite demon here. I'm playing Kane.
I'm gonna use a banned term through World Wrestling Entertainment, and I'm gonna say they learned their lesson after Chris Benoit.
Yeah, but they've done 10 bell salutes and tributes since then.
I don't remember if Ultimate Warrior got one.
That one was weird because he appeared
on Raw and died the next day.
Going off on a tangent. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go down a path that Bum went down. Ultimate Warrior gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, shows up at WrestleMania, shows up at Raw. And I watching his promo or his segment on Raw, I kept thinking, this dude's fixing to kill over dead. He is not sounding good. He doesn't. This is not. He looked bad. He sounded bad. And I was just like, this dude's gonna end up dead soon. The very next day,
brother.
The very next freaking day.
Yep. That was a very weird, sad ordeal, because it's almost like, that was the one thing he was waiting on, was to get back in the good graces of the company. And once he got that, he's like, okay, I can go now.
What do you guys think of the WWE Hall of Fame? Not to go off on another tangent, since we're flipping and flopping, but like I said, this is a brand new show. We're working the kinks out. We're rolling as we roll.
We're a battle royal, man. We're all over the place.
We are. What do you guys think of the WWE class of 2022 Hall of Fame, headlined by the only one I care about right now is Undertaker.
Yes.
We had Booker T's wife, the Queen,
Queen Charlotte.
And
I don't get that at all.
See, I said the same thing in MC about lost his mind.
I'll cut a promo on Zach.
I sent him a text when that came down, and I said, "Who the hell is this?" And he sends back. He goes, "I know damn well you didn't just ask me that." I was like,
"Yeah, I was trying to do my Booker T of like, tell me you didn't just say that."
I know it's Booker T's wife, but what did she contribute to wrestling?
Nothing. Well, Booker T.
She was pretty prominent.
Booker T was himself before
King Booker.
Her.
Yeah, but when he went the route of the whole King Booker after he won King of the Ring, it was King Booker and Queen Charlotte. So
yes, but
she's almost like a valet.
So there's three.
Queen Zelina in the freaking Hall of Fame right
now.
Yeah.
There's three right now. It's headlined by, of course, the Undertaker, and then there's Vader, and then Queen Charlotte.
Vader time. I just hate that he is no longer with us to be there to enjoy this, because I think he's very worthy of it. Yeah. When you get those two, Charmel's a bit of a head scratcher if your other two are Vader and the Undertaker.
Hot take.
Okay.
Thank you. I've got one too, but I can't say it on the air.
Yeah.
In the midst of all of this, and I know they're already in twice, but put Hall and Nash in as the outsiders.
See, I don't think that they're in individually, right?
And they're in as NWO.
And they're in with
and
the
then they're
NWO.
in as the NWO.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing, the NWO induction was during COVID. The fans weren't able to give a reaction, and you're so close to losing Scott Hall. I think it'd be the right thing to do by his family, by him, and letting Kevin Nash talk about how special that man was.
Induct him.
To him. Doesn't have to induct him. You let Hogan induct them, because he's the one who ran with them. But
how about this? Go ahead, finish your thought, Bo, because I have an addendum to what you're coming with.
I think it would be a not a disservice, but I think if you're having problems finding guys that want to be inducted right now, or guys that
Are worthy enough?
that are worthy enough of being inducted, make that happen. I think it makes the fans happy. You get a pop off of it, and it's do it in remembrance of Scott Hall. I mean, like we've said all show, that guy meant so much to the business. And Kevin Nash would be the perfect person.
Yeah, and like I said, he's one of the few that revolutionized the industry. Here's a question, and while we're on the topic of Hall of Fame, you've got guys in that revolutionized the Attitude Era, that were the Attitude Era. Now that you've got the Icon, the Dead Man, the Last Outlaw, the Undertaker, why isn't The Rock in the Hall of Fame?
That's a good question.
Stone Cold's
The Rock's
in.
not done. The Rock's not done.
How do you know? The man, we all thought Stone Cold was done. We all thought Shawn Michaels was done. Ooh, those last matches of Shawn Michaels, too. God, I'd rather not remember
Not
those.
up to his standard.
The greatest,
God, no.
The greatest Royal Rumble was the best wrestling match Shawn Michaels has ever done. I can't even say that without laughing.
Anytime they do a show in Saudi Arabia, there is a terrible match on that card. Goldberg, Undertaker.
It's because they want a Hall of Famer on the card every time, and that's the only Hall of Famer they're going to get is Goldberg. No offense to Goldberg. Bill Goldberg.
Taker was there for a couple of them, but Taker was not in good shape.
Bill Goldberg's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
The Stone Cold of WCW?
Yes. But the difference between Goldberg and a Hall of Famer like Edge is his prime is past him. I think Edge is like getting towards the end of it. But the Saudi groups, they want that big star to be out there. So can't
Edge
blame
is
them on that.
Edge is the Tom Brady of the WWE.
That's fair. That's a
That
fair
is
point.
fair.
I literally just came up with that. That was spot on. I don't have many, but when I got them, spot on.
Improv, ladies and
I watched
gentlemen.
an interview. So late at night on YouTube, contrary to popular belief, I get on YouTube and watch WWE and AEW stuff and everything like that to keep up with it. And John Cena did an interview for his Peacemaker tour. And they asked him why guys like him and The Rock aren't in WWE. And, him and The Rock feuded for real because he thought it was unfair that The Rock was saying, I love this company, I love the fans, I want to give back to them, but would never come back. John Cena got a taste of his own medicine in that aspect. Mm-hmm. So he said, look, when we're filming, if I go back to WWE and I break my leg or my nose gets hit to the side of my head like it did when he was facing Seth Rollins, or I just have some type of injury, I'm putting an entire movie set or TV set at risk for their jobs, job security, everything like that. He said, that's why you have to be able to respect what DJ does. And that's why it's so highly anticipated when he comes back. If he were to come back and wrestle Roman Reigns, which is the match I know every single one of us wants to see. We want to see the match for the head of the table.
I think that ends the gimmick of Tribal Chief head of the table. Because that thing can only go so long. He's already blown through everybody on the roster.
Listen, Roman's not beating The Rock. But you have to have a time period where it's right for The Rock to come back because he's filming so much stuff right now. I mean, he's filming Black Adam and
I think that has wrapped.
There's rumors. Well, yeah, it comes out this year, but there's rumors that he's going to be joining back with the Fast and Furious cast. Just what I've read. Vin Diesel put a whole thing out there for him. But, so when I think about guys like that, when I think about The Rock and John Cena specifically, if they are wrestling and we want them back, like Cena's come back, but Cena just got done filming Peacemaker and didn't have anything else. They don't owe us anything. They've done their whole lives to make us happy. We enjoyed their product, and I'm very proud of what they are doing outside of wrestling. But in the same aspect, I know we all want to see them come back at some point, and I think that's why they're waiting on The Rock for the
which is why
for the
I
Hall of
think
Fame, because I just think that The Rock will get in the Hall of Fame on his own time, and I think at some point he might take a year off of filming movies and say, "Hey, I want to do this for 1 year, one last ride. Let it happen, let it go." Showcase that he is still The Rock. He's always going to be The Rock, but just showcase him, let him run with it, and go from there.
Triple H
Well,
can't
also
wrestle
have to be
anymore.
thankful-
Why? When does he go into the Hall?
Well,
And
I
does
mean,
he
apparently
have
he's
a
not with the company anymore? So
He's not
Well, he's
either.
in with
He's not.
DX. He's in with DX.
Well, he's in with DX. Okay, so if you're going to do that argument, if you're going to go that route, MC, let me counter. Okay, after this year, Undertaker is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Kane is in the Hall of Fame. Do you put the Brothers of Destruction, the tag team, in the Hall of Fame? You did it with DX.
Yeah, I mean, the precedent has been set for the answer to that question to be yes. They're both in it individually. I mean, good Lord, how many different ways is Ric Flair in it?
How many different ways is Hogan in it?
Yeah, exactly. So I think the precedent that's been
Booker
set
T.
is yes.
Booker T. Prime example.
So I mean, I think you'd have to look at that of Brothers Destruction. But I mean, was their tag team run really that memorable? I mean, it was cool, but
I don't. Well, and I say that because I'm a huge Undertaker fan. Undertaker has been and always will be my
big
favorite.
Undertaker. Yeah,
yeah.
I like Undertaker. Big Undertaker fan. When the gong hits, I still.
When the gong hits, I'm like, yes. I'm like a 13-year-old kid again in the mid '90s, ready to get the crap scared out of me.
Okay, what about Umaga? Umaga could be a name you put in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Or is he in the Hall of Fame?
With the risk of, somebody reaching through the computer and slapping me, is Umaga Hall of Fame worthy?
I think he is.
Okay.
He's in just a wrestling just super family.
Well, okay, so that's
then
where I was asking. Is it because he's in the family he's in, or is it because of what he did in the ring? Because if you're going off the family, then
Umaga.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was good. It was
his
good,
brother.
but
Is his brother in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
Are y'all gonna tell me? Are y'all gonna tell me y'all don't know who his brother is?
Rikishi?
I guess.
Yes.
Who?
Yeah, Rikishi's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Rikishi. Oh, yeah, Rikishi's in. He's in.
Okay, well, what about the APA?
APA. I thought the APA was in.
They're not. Batista.
I don't. Well, okay, so
but WWE pulled the event due to COVID-19,
right?
And then he was unable to attend in 2021. So
is he in, or did they
hold? He's not in yet.
I'll tell you one person who's not going to be in. And that, he's not going to be in.
Macho Man's in.
Yeah, Macho Man's in.
They did? Okay. All right.
Yeah, Macho
I didn't
Man's
think
in.
they put him in because of the whole rumor thing. But
I'll tell you. Look, if they'll put Hogan in,
I think they waited after he died.
That's right. He didn't go in until after he died.
Yeah, he didn't go in until after he passed.
Yeah, his brother put him in.
Lesnar doesn't want to be in the Hall of Fame.
He'll be in eventually.
He'll be in, but it'll be because he'll be in because of Vince. He won't, and that's it. He's not
He
going to
deserves
care.
it though. This is
What's
the best.
what's his
This
reasoning?
is the best run of his career.
He's
This is the best run of it because he's not
Yes.
that type of person.
He's not that type of person.
I love the Brock Lesnar
this
we're
is-
getting right now.
This is the best run he's had.
Oh,
Okay,
God, yes.
So then besides Hall of Fame inductees, we think of people like the celebrity inductees, and then you got to think about the Warrior Award. So one of the people that I would think for the Warrior Award would be Shad from Crime Time.
Posthumously?
He lost his
Yeah.
life. He lost his life saving his son from drowning. I mean,
Yeah.
you talk about a warrior. That's a true warrior. I mean, the guy was young on the beach. His son got swept off into a current. He pushed his son back in to save his life, and Shad got swept away and drowned. Super, super, super sad. But like that's a true warrior. Then you think of guys like celebrities. So you go who does all of Triple H's music? Lemmy
Motorhead.
Lemmy
Kilmister?
Kilmister. Yeah.
Yeah, Motorhead. Yeah, he'd be a good one. He passed away within the last few years.
Mhm.
I mean, there's people that you can put in there. Paige is another one. Now, there's rumors going around that she's going to be making a comeback. I don't know if you want to put her in because she's still so young. I mean, she's close to my age, guys. I think she's like 29 or something like that.
I think so.
But
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Carlito, you have a lot of guys that can do it.
I'm gonna play devil's
Steiner
advocate on
brothers.
the Page thing. They're talking about that. They're talking about that doing that this year for the Steiner brothers. But let me ask on the Page thing. And I'm gonna sound like a dick asking this too. Is she Hall of Fame worthy because her career was cut short? Because her career was cut short.
Absolutely. It's not her fault. It's not her fault her career got cut short.
Okay, so let me ask. And I know the answer to this question. I want to ask the two of you. What makes her career so Hall of Fame worthy?
Have at it, Bum.
MC, go ahead.
Keep in mind, I know the answer to that question. I want to hear it from the two of y'all to see what y'all think.
I mean, she ran that women's division for a while. When she made her debut,
She
and beat
was the
AJ
women's
Lee.
division for a while.
Yeah, she was. I mean,
The way she came out and won her title right off the
against
bat, nobody's ever done that before.
against her idol. Yeah,
Nobody's ever done that before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who did she win it
And
from?
it just-
AJ?
AJ Lee. Yeah,
That's what I thought.
So if we're talking Paige, we got to talk the elephant in the room. Is what happened outside of the ring that went public? Is that possibly what's
That's
gonna keep
keeping
out of
her.
the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
I don't think it is because they brought her back even after the fact. And I don't want to go into
Well,
detail
bringing her
about
back. I mean,
all of that.
bringing her back
Xavier
is one
Woods.
thing because
If we ever get Xavier Woods on here, we can go into detail about that. Or Brad Maddox. But for those of you that want to know what we're talking about, there's a thing called Google. You can look it up. And, you can type those three names in there.
Yep.
Bruce
Kid show.
Bob.
This is a kid show. We're rated PG.
Now let's throw this disclaimer out there. When you throw that into Google, NSFW, not say
Yeah. Yes. Highly. And put earbuds in. No. I don't know if this is a real thing. Khalil Ron. Do y'all recognize this name?
No.
I mean, I agree. You don't go from rage violence to that, but
Yeah, don't know who that is.
Bruce,
But
if you're
also-
watching, give us a rundown of who that is.
That's
Side
not. Is
note,
that? That's UFC. He's saying that's
This is
UFC.
going to be.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're going to be.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna be
We're also
so.
gonna do UFC, MMA.
We actually do have a UFC guy.
Shout out to Kevin Holland, UFC fighter, who I saw on Twitter today. A gunman walked into a Houston restaurant. Kevin Holland took his ass down before he could fire any shots off and beat the absolute hell out of him. You want to talk about a hero? There's one right
awesome.
there.
So Bruce, bear with us,
shout
man.
out
This
to
is
Kevin
show
Holland.
one. We'll get some UFC talk going in here, but tonight,
Yeah, we'll try to start covering UFC next week. This is only episode 1, so just bear with us, and we appreciate you watching, Bruce. Final notes as we're wrapping up here. Man, I could sit here and talk all night about this stuff, man. I love this.
Oh,
Same here,
I
man.
can go deep on this. I can go real deep.
What do you guys think? Should we do an episode 2?
I mean,
I don't know if the people want episode 2.
Why? Is it because I'm the one running it?
No. I'm just saying because I don't know if they can handle us.
Right.
You know,
on a much more
all your swine fans over there in the horrible.
Hey,
easy there, bum. Easy there, bum.
Arkansas. I mean,
we have our first team.
Here we go.
Yeah, right. He had to sneak it in. Hey, we've got our first team in the NCAA tournament field of 68 from the first 4 in. It is Texas Southern. They're going to be playing number 1 seed Kansas. Not like it matters.
Deuces, have fun. Hope you enjoy that play and win.
Southern with the upset.
Right. All right, folks. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, I got you. I think Vermont torches Arkansas in the first round of the tournament.
We're not talking about that one. Wrong show, bum. Wrong show.
I'm messing with you.
Wrong show, bum.
Sorry.
Oh, trying for that heat, man. He's trying too hard. He might as well just, insult the local town and talk about what a trash.
Hey, listen,
is, so.
I'm not.
Wait, this feels like
this
feels fitting, and this feels fitting, and I swear, I'm not trying to do it legitimately, but let's go, Brandon.
That's me. They're gonna be chanting my name.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Woof.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. You've been watching the very first premiere episode of the Falls Count Anywhere show. I promise you we're going to get our act together. We might not. You never know. It could be a DX, could be NWO. We don't know what we're going to do from week to week.
I want to start doing a best and worst wrestler of the week from all the shows combined. And I'm talking all the way from Raw to NXT to AEW. I think that'd be a good segment for us to have if we had our individual wrestlers of who gave the best promos or who had the best matches.
I like it.
And I know we're not going to be able to watch every single show, but I think that would absolutely be something that would benefit us, and people would want to listen to that.
Agreed. But like I said, we're going to try to start covering UFC next week, and I promise we'll try to be a little bit more on the rails. But we're going to start covering at UFC next week. I know MC's got an insider he's wanting to get on. And we'll talk some more WWE, some more to AEW. And we'll dabble and see what's going on in the world of professional boxing. Until then, I'm Zach Kerr. This is MC Marcus Carlton. And, of course, the bum down at the bottom from Memphis, Tennessee, Brandon Bumgarner. Have a great rest of your evening.
The real bad guy.
I don't know about all that, but have a great rest of your evening. We will see you guys. And as the words of Stone Cold, we're going to catch your ass down the road. So long, everybody.